One important part that everybody noticed within the consortium, is that parties are a big thing right now, and the young people want to go out, have fun, party. So parties are most of the time completely full, but going out to discover bands is kind of a different attitude, and that's this attitude that we have to encourage, that we have to work on also to give them the taste of discovery. That's something that's also very important. And this taste is already here. We just have to give it a push. And yes, and that's something that you have to do with the public themselves, and mostly by listening to them.
It's a real issue. I can confirm what Vadodra is saying. Right now, young people are more and more interested in parties than live concerts. It's an issue, and we have to address it somehow. Maybe even making the concerts like a mixture of live concerts and the streaming. I hope that all the time will be a new generation who loves live music, because it's a different feeling to see a live concert. But it's not very easy in the next years, in my opinion. We have to fight back somehow, but I don't know what's going to happen. That's what I see now. It's like this kind of mixed type of concert. Now there are all kinds of technology, things like, augmented reality. I see some people trying to do something this way, but I think that's where we are heading. So the traditional type of concert, I don't know how long it will last.
I saw some really interesting things regarding the online medium during the pandemic, and I'm now referring to the concerts inside video games. And there are some examples of really successful concerts that gather millions of fans. So this is something that you cannot do live. You cannot gather millions of people nowhere for a live concert. So I don't know, maybe in the future the live concerts will merge with the online experience somehow. That will help people from, parts of the world that cannot go to Coachella or whatever, to have an experience, a kind of immersive experience with those festivals or concerts that they cannot attend because of the distance and the cost. So I think we have room for development, but we have to also understand the young generation, their ways of consuming music, TikTok things and whatever is coming next, to keep them still interested in live performances one way or another.
If I can just add something. As you said, it's important, this digital aspect to complement things, but nothing will ever replace the live experience. When you live it, it's kind of obvious, but also the festivals, like the fact that so many people gather in one place at one time, nothing will ever replace that. And when you live an experience like that, you understand. So maybe we can have the digital aspect can help to bring young people back also and to complement the experience. But in my opinion, it will never compete with the live experience. It will just promote discoveries of bands. But yes, it's important to stress the importance of the live part.
Indeed, nothing will ever replace live music, the sense of community and sharing that it brings. And one silver lining of all these recent crises is that policymakers realized how important that is for the young generations, and realized that we must fight back. That, as Florin Oșloboanu nicely put it at the EuropaVox conference, we need to fight for the real thing. That was today's installment of Music Time. Tune in 2 weeks' time to hear about the EuropaVox Festival and musicians who played in Bucharest as part of it. Until then, from me, Ana Maria Popescu, it's goodbye.
Living Romania. Coming up next on Radio Romania International, In the Spotlight. What better way to start your Sunday afternoon than listening to some quality music in an oasis of tranquility? This is how a few hundred people chose to spend their day off as part of the opening event in a much broader series, Weekend Sessions. For 15 weekends running all the way till late September, guests are invited to the Botanical Gardens in Bucharest to have a picnic with their families and friends while listening to open-air concerts featuring jazz, pop and indie artists and bands. The Star Wars crowd out there will have immediately recognized this song as the one performed by the band of Strange Aliens in the Mos Eisley pub when Ben Kenobi and Luke Skywalker walked in the 4th episode of the saga, A New Hope. The original song was composed by John Williams and performed by Mecco, and it hit number 1 in Billboard Hot 100 in 1977. But the excerpt you just heard, as well as the tune in the intro, were both performed by the Bucharest Sax Quartet, BSQ, an independent band from the capital city that seeks to familiarize Romanian audiences with the concept of sax quartet, which is very popular in the UK, for instance. And it was actually Jim Pywell, a British musician who has been living in Bucharest for over 8 years, who noticed the opportunity such a band might present. Before coming to Romania, Jim lived in Kenya, India and Spain and worked in various music and cultural venues. He founded BSQ in 2019 and co-opted Ovidiu Antonescu, Viorel Răducu and Nicolae Spătaru to form the band. They all teach in various public or private music schools in the capital city.
The song is being by Chris Dumbley.
BSQ's repertoire includes a variety of genres from pop, jazz to classical music. The band also likes to experiment, playing tunes that wouldn't otherwise be fit for the saxophone. Yet, Weekend Sessions is not all about music. There are 2 separate stages set up at the Botanical Gardens, one where artists perform live and the second one for film screenings. There's also a wellness area where guests can attend therapy sessions, dance and mindfulness sessions, as well as yoga classes, all organized by a wide variety of professionals. The separate area devoted to children was also very crowded this weekend, swarming with younger children who wanted to take part in creative workshops or in other activities. In between live music sessions and film screenings, people are also invited to sample pancakes and hot dogs offered by local entrepreneurs in the food industry. This weekend, in the run-up to the concert, guests were also in for a treat: live poetry sessions featuring Ioana Tătărușanu and Iulian Morar. Another highlight of Weekend Sessions is the partnership with the French Institute in Romania, which actually selected the films that were screened. A special pavilion was also set up by Campus France, where guests were provided with information about study opportunities in France. Here is the director of the French Institute in Romania, Julien Capon-Lucchesi.
On est très heureux pour ce premier Weekend Sessions de l'année
de vous dire qu'on est partenaire.
We are very happy to attend this first weekend session of the year as partners of this wonderful event. Held all throughout May, weekend sessions will have a French touch. We have a stall providing you with information about our activities, as well as films we have selected jointly with the manager of Elevide Popescu. Films that address both adults and children, which enjoyed great success. You are also invited to attend a new edition of the French Film Festival, which will be held starting June and the Undercurrents. On Sunday, as previously mentioned, the Bucharest Sax Quartet gave a solid performance, and later that evening, Dov Meraki stepped onto the stage. Is the stage name of Andra Maria, a graduate of the jazz section at the Music University in Bucharest, who studied with the great pianist and professor Mircea Tiberian. Over the years, the very talented Dov Meraki collaborated with a wide variety of instrumentalists, performing on the sidelines of numerous jazz concerts and festivals. Listen to her next performing an own composition, Whole Again. This is Dov Meraki performing Whole Again at weekend sessions in Bucharest. I am Vlad Palko. Thanks for listening.
To love yourself, you will love all and everyone around you. You will be whole again. You will love all and everyone around you. You will be whole again.
Hello and welcome to our traditional music feature. I'm Călin Coțoliu. Today we stop in Oltenia, a region in the south of Romania with a really rich folklore, very generous with its talent. Part of this talent is Marin Cornea, who himself came from a musical family. Let us listen to him now with a song called I Recall from Far Back.
De multă, mi-aduc aminte de mult, cum eram și acum cum sunt. Eram tânăr ca trăguța, dar mă îmbătrâni mândruța. Eram tânăr ca fraga, dar mă îmbătrâni mândra. Eram tânăr ca fraga, dar mă îmbătrâni mândra. Barbă neagră mi-a albit de iubit de s-ar găsi cineva cu parale nu geaba, să cumpăr tinerețea că-am trăit bine cu ea.
Ce-am pus de gând, știi, puică, ce-am pus de gând, să mă fac om chipzuită, chipzuit și bundă, casă cu 7 mândre la masă, chipzuit și bunde, plugă cu 7 mândre la rând, cu 7 mândre la rând, pe toate să le sărut.
And with that, our broadcast in English for listeners in North America, the West Coast, and in Southeast Asia, beamed on India, has come to an end. You can listen to our next program for North America, the West Coast, tomorrow at 3 hours UTC on 7375 and 9850 kHz, and to our next program for Southeast Asia, beamed on India, at 5:30 hours UTC on 17760 and 21550 kHz, as well as on the internet at www.rri.ro. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write an email at engl@rri.ro. Goodbye.